Why is it important to define the relationship? I'm Dr. Greg Popcak, here with my wife Lisa Popcak. We're the co-authors of Just Married, The Catholic Guide to Surviving and Thriving in the First 5 Years of Marriage, and the founders and directors of the Pastoral Solutions Institute, a telephone counseling practice for Catholics. So defining the relationship, being able to say, we're officially dating, changing your Facebook status to in a relationship. Why is that stuff important, or is it at all?
I think we all know it's important. We've all been in that situation where the person we're with introduces us to somebody, and you're kind of waiting. What's my title going to be? Is it going to be girlfriend? Is it going to be boyfriend? Is it, this is my friend. Oh, this is my best friend's friend. You feel it inside yourself. You need that, know the definition of it, and have respect given to you for everything you've put into the relationship with that label.
But it's funny, it's because it seems like there's a recent trend, and it is more recent actually, according to research, for people to be reluctant to define those relationships. And there's a researcher, Dr. Scott Stanley at the University of Denver, who talks about the more modern path into marriage is to slide into marriage as opposed to deciding for marriage. And I'll talk about it in secular terms first, and then we can kind of bring around the more Catholic variation on the theme. But so this idea of sliding into marriage, right, is, especially with a lot of premarital sex, what will happen is that, we're sleeping together, and then, then I've got some socks and a change of clothes in a drawer, and then, half my wardrobe is already in your closet, so I might as well move in, and then, we've got a kid or two together, and everybody's giving us the hairy eyeballs, so we might as well get married now. And we slid into this marriage, and then all of a sudden one of us wakes up in the morning and says, oh my gosh, I never chose any of this.
Yeah, even if you slid into we might as well get married, and the other person's thinking, well, you stood there and made these vows with me. Yes, you did. And they're like, not really. You just sort of slid into it.
And the traditional path to marriage was deciding for marriage, according to Dr. Stanley. Again, at every stage the relationship would be defined, right? So at first we were just friends, right? Then we started dating, but we weren't maybe exclusive. And then we were going steady, to use an old term.
Yeah,
right?
A very old term, but there was even significance with that. Back. You give somebody your high school ring, or there was a symbol
sign,
a sign that said, we're moving to the next stage.
And then there would be the engagement proposal and the ring.
And again, with some sort of connection and another symbol to go with.
Right, and then there was the wedding again. And at each one of these stages, it wasn't just that there was a symbol. There was a public commitment to do two things. One, increase your commitment to that person, and secondly, intentionally decrease your options. At each stage, I'm saying I'm increasing my commitment to you, and I'm intentionally decreasing all my other options. So at every stage, I'm deciding for a deeper relationship. But with the new path into marriage, people slide into it. They don't really choose, and then all of a sudden they're surprised. Oh my gosh, how'd I get here? Right?
A lot of people think it's safer. It's safer. He can just put his socks in this drawer. She can just let me there on the weekends. I'll just do the weekends. Then maybe 3 nights a week. Then we'll just see if we're comfortable with that. I'm not making somebody choose for me. I'm not taking that risk. It feels safer, but it's exponentially less safe.
And in fact, the research really shows that the sliding path into marriage is correlated significantly with a higher rate of divorce. People who slide into marriage much more likely of getting divorced than couples who decide for marriage. So defining the relationship at each stage, not to the point where you're filing forms in triplicate at the home office, but where you're clear about what your intentions are and what the relationship really means to you at each stage is really critically important for setting a healthy foundation for a future marriage. The other piece of this, of course, the sort of the Christian variation on this theme is, a lot of people know that they shouldn't sleep together before marriage, but a lot of people will use each other emotionally. It's like, we go to mass together and we do this thing together. We go to the movies together. We're sort of like friends by boyfriend, girlfriend by default.
Right. You're the person I always spend time with doing some of my favorite things, or you're the person I can always count on for that +1 on that invitation. But we never say, hey, are we going to commit to a romantic relationship? Is this going to be something? Or are we sort of holding out with hope? Oh, well, if I always take him to all the family weddings. Oh, if I always binge watch our favorite show together. will just one day have that romantic click. They'll realize I'm perfect for them, and it'll all just turn into the fairy tale.
Or the other theme, of course, is you're my might as well girlfriend. You're my might as well boy. You're the person, well, I might as well go out with you. We might as well get married. We seem to do everything else.
Well, don't we see that in romantic movies all the time? Two best friends walking along together and say, if we're not married in 30 years, you'll be that one for... Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, really.
That makes me feel great. If nothing better comes along. And again, it goes back to this concept of, I'll use you to fill this space in my life, but I won't intentionally respect you enough and love you enough to decide for you in this moment.
So the point being that, it's important to define the relationship, because that intentionally increases your commitment to each other and intentionally decreases the options that you have, and you're not being surprised, by the choices that you make. And, the reality is we all deserve to be chosen.
Yes,
we are all unique and unrepeatable people that God has given as a gift to the world. We are God's gift to the world, not in the way that maybe our parents say, he thinks he's God's gift to the world. But we really are God's gift to the world, and we deserve to be chosen by somebody and valued and cherished in that. We don't deserve to just sort of slide into it and be the might as well spouse or the might as well boyfriend or the might as well girlfriend. We deserve to be cherished and valued and appreciated as the one that God has chosen for you.
It might feel a little risky to make those choices or to ask somebody else to make those decisive choices, but it's really a lot safer and more protecting of your heart and your soul to make those committed choices instead of just taking the risk that maybe it'll work out if we keep on sliding along.
Hey guys, I hope that you enjoyed our video, and don't worry, there's plenty more where that came from. Check out the other videos to my side and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss out. We also have a great guide for online dating right here that you can download absolutely free, and a ton more resources at CatholicMatchInstitute.com. And by the way, if you're single, check out CatholicMatch.com. Creating an account and searching for other Catholic singles is totally free. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today!